She's like, how much do I owe you? He says, you don't owe me any money. She's like, oh, great. Well, how can I repay you? He says, oh, I'm glad you said that. There's one way you can repay me. Your soul. She's like, what? He says, I want your soul. You made the agreement, so your soul belongs to me. She says, you're crazy. And if you don't get the hell out of here, I'm going to knock the crap out of you. And then she starts to go up, you know. And then she said it just like that. She was going to say the word hell, but she remembered, I'm in Utopia. You know, I can't say hell. So on her way back up to the apartment, he says, all right, if you don't want to pay me, then I'm going to collect it by force. Your bill is now delinquent. And as soon as she walked inside of the apartment, she noticed that it wasn't the regular apartment. It was like this one big black dark space. And then she noticed these shadow looking figures coming like from the back room, coming out of the room and coming towards her. And she screamed and she ran out and ran downstairs, you know, to the bottom floor of the apartment. And she started running down the street and noticed everywhere she was running, out of the alleyways, you know, onto the sidewalks and into the street, these shadows, really little small figure looking shadows with these long wings would come, and they were running after her, and the wings were flapping like flapping and fluttering really hard, and they were running after her really quick. And Kayla started running and screaming down the street and everything. And then she ran up upon this guy, and he was like, looked like he was like working in the hood of his car. And she said, help me, something's going on, somebody's after me. And the guy looked at her and he says, what do you mean? What do you mean? She's like, help me. He's like, help you? And help you? Oh, I'll help you, baby. And he grabbed her shirt. And he said, look, I'll help you, baby. Give me some. And he tried to stick his tongue on her mouth. And she like slapped him. And then she punched him in the face. And he's like, oh, man, you hit me in the eye. Stupid beep. And then she started running down the street. And then she came upon that bridge where they smoked marijuana at. And she noticed that when she was on top of the bridge, she looked over to the other side of the bridge, and those shadows were coming at her. Matter of fact, some of the shadows were even flying down towards her. She looked back from where she came from, and these shadows, they were coming from back that way. And she looked over the bridge, and she looked down there, and she noticed, it looks like it's a long way down. And she had never noticed that before. It didn't look that long, that far down. But anyway, she says, either I'm going to deal with them or I'm going to jump, one of the two. And then they made the choice for her. One of the shadows came up to her, grabbed her by the back of the neck of her shirt and threw her off of the bridge. As Kayla started to fall down and down and down and down, she realized that it started to expand where she was going down. It started to get wider and bigger and lighter and redder and darker and lighter at the same time. And she started to hear these screams. All of these screams and hollers of pain, and it started to smell awful on her way down, and it started to get really hot and awful, and her skin started to burn, and she's like, ah! And then all of a sudden, boom, everything stopped. Kayla woke up and found herself in her bed again. And this time she started crying because she was scared as hell. Go figure. Ackland came in the room and she's like, are you okay? Kayla's like, oh, are you still you? Are you still me? I'm here. And then again, Kayla's like, oh, and then Ackland came in and started hugging her and stuff. It's all right. You just had a bad dream. You know, maybe it's that crap that you ate last night when we were having that party. Kayla said, maybe it was, but I just had the worst dream that I've ever had in my life. Ackland said, what was the dream about? She said, I don't want to talk about it now, maybe one day, but I'll say this. One part of the dream was where I was in this place where everyone was nice, and I wanted to leave there. And there was this really cute guy that I talked to, and he said, you don't have to be here. I went to this other place, everyone was mean. Then I went back to the nice place, and he said, I'm here to get my payment. If you don't pay me back, you know, there's going to be some consequences. And I didn't pay him what he wanted. So then he did something to me. What did he do? She said, I was this close to going to hell. Ackland laughed. It wasn't the stuff you ate last night. It was that stuff you smoked last night. It wasn't the stuff you ate. It was the stuff you smoked. Then they both thought about it. And then Ackland says, wait a minute. You remember about last night? And then Kayla says, oh yeah. We didn't smoke any marijuana last night. So maybe it was what I ate. And Ackland says, wait, come to think of it, I think it was what you ate last night. Kayla says, what do you mean? And then Ackland said, well, as you recall last night, we ate marijuana brownies. Oh, remind me next time to not eat marijuana brownies anymore. Okay. Marijuana cupcakes, maybe. This has been Rod Simeon Bedtime Stories. And the name of this bedtime story was Never Neverland. See you next week.